My man is here. I want to bring him in. We are joined, if I can get it, if I can get it, if I can get it. There we are. Dr. Wilmer Leon. Dr. Wilmer Leon. He
Sir.
is radio host, political scientist, and nationally syndicated columnist, host of Connecting the Dots on YouTube. How you doing, man? You doing okay today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Nobody has thrown a wrapped Subway sandwich at me like some protesters in D.C. did. So I'm doing fine.
Oh, wait. A protester threw a Subway sandwich at you?
No. At a cop in D.C. That's what I'm saying.
That's fine. He might have been hungry.
Yeah.
He might have ordered that. We don't really know.
But he's now been charged with a felony.
Really?
Yeah.
Then why did the cop order the sandwich?
Well, maybe he got one he didn't order. Right in his chest.
You can't. I wish somebody would throw a sandwich at me, especially if I was hungry. Man, doing you a favor. All those homeless people in DC, those people will be happy if you get a sandwich thrown at them. The DC, first of all, I'm glad you're doing okay. Thank you for joining me. I was going to start with the Trump and Alaska thing, but since you started with the cops in DC, I take special interest in this because I lived in DC for like 3-4 years. I think it was CNN. Yeah, I think this is CNN. CNN, actually, MSNBC, I'm sorry, MSNBC. I can't really say MSNBC did good work because, this is just a clock broken. But this is something they did that was good. So, Donald Trump, as normal, often likes to go out and give numbers that are always wrong. They're always wrong. Anytime Donald Trump is giving you a number, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's temperature. It is usually wrong. And he comes out, like when he went out with Jerome Powell that time, and he tells Jerome Powell, he says, hey, man, you have spent all of this money. Jerome Powell looks at it and says, this is wrong. This is wrong. You're combining multiple things that don't even apply and things that have already been paid for. That is his MO, right? So when Trump comes out and he says, well, DC's crime is so bad. And again, DC's crime is bad, but we're talking about whether there's some kind of dramatic increase in crime that demands you to put military on the ground in DC almost as a test case, like you did in California, seemingly you may do around the rest of the country, something that people should be far more visceral about. They put up a stat as Trump is giving these nonsense stats. Listen to
double and triple. And, when you take a look at numbers, I just saw some charts. These are different cities throughout the world. Red is, the red is a place called Washington, D.C. Look at these. Baghdad we doubled up on Baghdad. Panama City, Brasilia, San Jose, Costa Rica.
Now, just to be very clear, these are countries. These are countries. These aren't states. These aren't districts. These are anything else. I don't even know if those numbers are true. I have a hard time believing that Sao Paulo or some of these other, let's say the rougher areas of Brazil, like those, what do they call them? The FIFAs or whatever they call those things?
Favelas.
Thank you. There's no way that you're telling me that DC's crime is equal to one of the favelas. They're just not. I've been to Brazil. They're not. This is nonsense. And MSNBC puts the little thing. In the US, violent crime down 4.5%. In DC, 26%. 26% in comparison to 4.5% in the entirety of the US. Homicides down 14.9% in the US, down 12% in DC. Robberies down 8.9% in the US, 28% in DC. What is he talking about?
He doesn't know.
No, he don't know.
And to be fair, there is some question about whether or not there is some question about the accuracy of those DC numbers. The question is more of degree as opposed to crime in DC, from what they say, is down as it is across the country. It may not be down to the degree that those numbers are indicating, but it is down, not up. So
Right.
they're still trying to work through that issue with a particular police captain that may have been playing with the numbers. But
Oh, fair enough. I accept that.
right,
I even accept that, as I was pointing out to one of my guests, I was like, look, DC is a violent city. It's
Mhm.
not Chicago, but it is a violent city. I've lived there,
Mhm.
right? That I would hear gunshots all the time.
Mhm.
You just get used to them. There were people who would get, I remember there were on at least 2 or 3 occasions, people were killed outside of the clinic that I used to go to.
Mhm.
I don't doubt that there's crime in DC.
Right.
Donald Trump is acting like, oh my God, this is some kind of new phenomena. And this is some kind of thing that requires military on the ground in the United States, which I find to be nonsense. We have cops for a reason. If you need to add more cops, add more cops. The idea that you're putting military is insane to me. But if
For
you disagree
me,
with me, tell me.
for me, the bigger issue is you're not dealing with the source of crime.
That too.
You're not even discussing, because as a social scientist, as a political scientist, we know that the most significant contributor to crime is poverty.
Yes. And he can't say that.
He can't say that.
No.
And when you are talking about crime in a city where the largest employer is the federal government, and you've just cut the size of the federal government workforce, sending a whole bunch of people into unemployment.
Yes.
So if crime is related to poverty, one of the things that contributes to poverty is the lack of education. Well, you just cut the Department of Education. I mean, there are so many. We don't know about the labor numbers because you just fired the director of the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Because he didn't like the numbers.
Because he didn't like the numbers. So there's so much wrong with him, and there's so much wrong with this that it makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense.
You didn't even touch cutting SNAP benefits.
No.
You didn't even touch cutting Medicaid.
No.
Oh, and you didn't even touch when the big, quote unquote, big, beautiful bill where it's going to hit the poor more than any other demographic, meaning
All of
the
that.
top,
Correct.
the bottom two. Like,
right.
But billionaire who doesn't really care, who's a sociopath, doesn't really care about human beings, can't really bring up the fact that the issue is poverty. So we're going to treat this like it's a police issue as opposed to getting to the root of it. That level of competence, I have no expectation that Donald Trump is ever going to have. And by the way, I don't have that level of belief that Democrats either. They would just prefer people living on the streets. It's like this idea that Democrats will have is, well, I can't believe Donald Trump is removing people off the streets. We should keep those people on the streets. Okay, both of these things are problematic to me.
And why are so many people on the street? Well, we can go all the way back to Ronald Reagan and the deinstitutionalization of American citizens. The rise in homelessness went up dramatically after the Reagan administration. Right. And you've cut the benefits for veterans. You've cut veterans benefits. What happens when you cut veterans benefits? More veterans wind up on the. So he's part of. I say this all the time. He's not the causation of so much of this. He's the culmination of so much of this. We are seeing the results of policies that were implemented over the years. He is exacerbating a lot of the problems, but he's the culmination of so much of this. And then the other thing too, tell me if you see a pattern here. He sends the troops into Los Angeles. The mayor of Los Angeles is an African-American female, Karen Bass. He sends the troops into Washington, D.C. The mayor of Washington, D.C., and Washington is the only city in this country not tied to a state. He sends the troops into D.C. The mayor is an African-American woman, Muriel Bowser. He's talking about sending troops into Oakland, California. The mayor of Oakland, California is, now I forgot the sister's name.
It's okay.
Former Congresswoman. I forgot. Anyway, so he seems to have cities that are run. He's talking about Chicago. That's an African American man in Chicago. So he seems to be targeting cities run by Democrats, run by African Americans, and seemingly primarily African American women.
If you're trying to say that Trump is racist, yes.
Oh,
that's
that's the conclusion that you came to? Oh, okay.
That is the conclusion I came to, yes. I was there a while ago. The notion that you get into office as president and your first thing is that we need to go after the African American Museum. Okay, that's a little weird. You have a million things that you can be doing as president of the United States, and this is the thing that you decide that you want to focus your attention on. Then I have to say, why are you focusing your attention on that particular thing, right? Like my there was a I think it was a woman. Yeah, I think it was a woman. It might have been a woman or a guy. I don't remember. But she's walking on the street holding a sign saying, "Don't vote for Obama because Obama supports gays or gay marriage." And I was super curious because I kept thinking to myself of all the things that you as a religious person are out here fighting for. You are out here fighting against gay marriage. And it's like, okay, why this? Like, if you think of all the things that are associated with religion, making sure, taking care of the poor, taking care of the infirm, taking care of the sick. And her thing is, yeah, but those gays. That's super interesting, right? Like, you're making a choice. You're making a choice out of multiple things. You could say, well, I don't like Obama on this issue, but, he's trying to give healthcare. And I think healthcare is something that's associated with religion. Okay, that I get, right? But you're making a choice. And I'm saying the same thing is true for Trump. You come into office and you make a choice. Your choice is, we got to go after this African American museum. I don't like the fact that they have it. It makes me feel bad about myself as a racist person. Okay. Tell me who you are. I believe you.
Barbara Lee is the mayor of Oakland.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm sorry, Mayor Lee. I drew a blank on your name.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? She was the one sole vote against the Iraq War. How dare you?
I'll say her name 3 times throughout the day to make up for that. And final point on this, man, that damn Janine Pirro, she's got to go.
She is nuts.
She's a yapper. Janine Pirro, just shut up.
She's a weirdo. God, she's a weirdo.
Man. So long as she has Donald Trump standing behind her, she's the smallest one in the schoolyard, talking all of the trash because her older brother is standing behind her. Oh, she's nauseating. Oh,
it's
just
like
nauseating.
The administration from idiocy, right? That's what it puts me in mind of. Like, I don't even know if we saw the entirety of administration from idiocy, but I get the sense that if we did, it would look like Pirro, Hegseth, Rubio. Like it would kind of look like that.
In the words of that brilliant African American philosopher George Clinton, a school of foolfish. And also, folks, what this really is, I believe, it's a test run for martial law. That's what LA, DC, possibly Oakland and Chicago, because he's declaring states of emergency. He said about Los Angeles, if I didn't send the troops into Los Angeles would have, I don't know, burned down or whatever the heck he said. in DC. He's talking about a public safety emergency. It's becoming a situation of complete and total lawlessness. I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime. He talks about crime, savagery, filth, and scum will disappear. That to me sounds eerily reminiscent of a guy who wrote this book called, what was it called? Mein Kampf, I think was the name of the book, where he refers to Jews as vermin.
Mm-hmm.
The language is very, very similar and very, very racist.
It's also a test run for civil war.
Well,
because
yes,
the moment that you lose credibility and legitimacy, and let's be honest, Donald Trump has no credibility at all. Like, I don't know anybody. There are random people somewhere where you throw a rock and there's some random that makes, hey man, he's playing 5-dimensional chess. Okay, that's a rando, right?
On a
The average
3-dimensional
person
board with checkers.
The average person has no belief in what Trump says. He lies easily as he breathes, right?
And here's a
even
question.
Go for it.
My dear friend Tom Porter asked this question on my show yesterday, or it's going to air on Saturday. He said, what are the black police officers going to do? What are the black soldiers going, National Guard? Which side of the line of oppression are they going to stand on when the stuff hits the fan? When, in heaven forbid, when the bullets start flying, which side of the argument are they going to be on?
Which side?
And I don't know. Now? I don't know the answer to that question, but I think that's a question that needs to be asked.
What side are they on now?
Well,
functions of the state.
They are function as Amiri Baraka would tell you. They are functionaries of the United States government.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. I mean, I could be wrong, and it's not like I'm saying I don't want black cops. It's not that. Obviously, it's a job, and you want someone who do a good job. Like the last thing you want are a bunch of lunatics working on the force. And I've seen like black cops. I am one of those people who like interrogations. I've seen good black cops where they would turn in their white colleagues. They would say, hey, you need to call this person because that meth, is off the rails. I've seen that take place. That I approve of. That I want.
I'm related to good black cops. Yeah. And there was a time in my life when I wanted to be a cop.
Interesting.
And if that had worked out, I hope I would have been a good black cop. So I feel you. I'm with you.
By the same token, at the point where the state gets involved and decides to do something that is well beyond the pale, let's be honest. What Donald Trump is doing here, it may be within his power to do, but it's not entirely legal. Like it's if you were dealing with an ideal government that was honest, just, and the president had powers to say, well, yeah, we can call martial law when we need to declare martial law. But they're usually provisions that discern that. It's not the president just wakes up one morning and said, I need to hide and dodge from Epstein because I'm a pedophile, a raging pedophile, and I don't want anybody to know about it. So I need to, do anything in my power to cover for this. And so I'm going to declare some kind of provision and send the military onto the grounds of DC or California or whatever else. Those are different things. And so, yeah, you can push the envelope in a way that people aren't going to push back on something like this, even though they know what you're doing is obviously not on the level. But there is a point where they realize this is too far. And the catch becomes, what is that point, right? Is it we're going to send military to all of these different cities that I don't particularly like because I'm Donald Trump? And then you get to this other interesting thing. Where does the public go? Now, I've just watched the public around the world watch a genocide take place. And you could see the mechanics of people contorting themselves into, well, this is different. This is something else. oh, I know we're starving 2.8 million people, but it's not that, it's not the same thing. Hamas is everywhere. That baby was wearing a Hamas shirt. So that baby was fair game and dangerous. Like, you can see the mechanics. You don't have to be, for all those people who wondered what is it like in Nazi Germany when people just kind of bent over. You see it take place in your kind of societies. You see it take place in the way it propagates. Okay, what does it look like in the States? And I know some people say, I think Jamal is being hyperbolic. I don't think I am. The president of the United States has decided to send military in U.S. cities for shits and giggles. Not because there was a riot, not because anything had changed, not because anything different took place. You have a valiant country. It wasn't, it was like that before you got here. So
that's how it was founded.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to find that picture of Janine. Oh, here it is. This God answer prayers. Lord answers prayers.
You prayed for this? Be careful what you pray for, because you might get it.
She might show up, right? She may appear. It's like Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Oh, I can't play the music on it. This is the funniest thing in the world to me. Is this really her? It looks like her. God, I hope it's her. That is the funniest thing in the world to me. I don't know if that's her. It looks so much like her. I'm not going to say it is. I'm just going to say it's funny. I got to get your take on. And by the way, again, not saying that's her.
Right.
Not saying that's her. Don't want people yelling at me. It just looks like her, and it would be funny if it was.
It looks like her twin sister.
Yes. It'd be funny if it was. Let's talk about Alaska for a bit. Let's talk about Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska. And I don't mean just random. I mean this whole Trump Putin powwow summit. This is funny to me on so many levels. Donald Trump beats his chest. 50 days. He's going to get 50 days. And then when it becomes clear, oh my God, Ukraine is being routed in Donbass, and they are literally collapsing with multiple cauldrons taking place. And it's being done in a way where the moment that they take Pokrovsk and Konstantinivka, I have such a hard time saying these words, that they're also going to be flanking Kramatorsk Slaviansk, which is the last defensive line in Donbass. So then he comes back and says, well, you have 10 days, maybe 12. And then it's, we need to meet. And he sends Witkoff, apparently with a deal, an offer, something that the Russians at the very least said, okay, we'll have this talk. We'll have this conversation. We'll finally sit down. Then he immediately lies and said, well, Putin is begging me for a visit. No, he's not. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about you. The reality of it is that Donald Trump bluffed with secondary sanctions, and then Taco backed off those secondary sanctions, as my channel kept saying that he would. I kept saying, do it. I want to see it. I kept saying it for an entire week. Do it. I want to see it. He backs off. He realizes that because you pass tariffs on the entirety of the world, that your economy is already under stress. The 100% tariffs that you were going to now pass on India and China, you couldn't do it on China, so you punt on China. You hit 20% of what India effectively deals with the US, because you couldn't even do it on the entirety of India's economy. And then you effectively realize, okay, we need to get a deal, because if I don't get the deal, I look like an asshole. I bluffed and I got called. And once again, Taco has the back off. So now you send a request to meet with Putin. Putin says yes to whatever you sent the request to, that you can have this conversation. And now he is telling people, well, yeah, the Russians were begging me to meet because they were terrified of sanctions. Okay, no, they weren't. Now you're going to your European leaders and Europe, who's freaking out because they don't want Donald Trump to meet with Putin, with them being on the sidelines, because they're effectively carving up Europe without Europe being in the room, which is just the funniest thing in the world to me. Trump, after the virtual conversation, comes out, and would you know it, talking tough. This is Trump after the virtual summit.
There will be sanctions, tariffs, to stop the war after your meeting on Friday.
Yes, they will.
What will the
There
consequences
will be consequences.
Sanctions, tariffs?
There will be, I don't have to say, there will be very severe consequences. Yes.
To stop.
Here's the thing. If Trump had these monstrous consequences, why didn't he just use those monstrous consequences to stop the war already?
Because he's got nothing.
But he said he had stuff. He said he had stuff. He said there's going to be monstrous consequences.
He doesn't even have a pair of deuces. He's got nothing. And I think I got a readout of the meeting between Putin and Witkoff. And Witkoff said, "Here are my demands from Donald Trump." And Putin said, "Go away." And that was how it went.
That was the meeting. That was the entirety of the meeting.
No. Look, here's Lil Marco Rubio told us back, I want to say in March, he said, quote, "It's been very clear from the beginning that President Trump views this as a protracted, stalemated conflict, and frankly, it's a proxy war between nuclear powers, the U.S. helping Ukraine and Russia."
Right.
That's what Marco Rubio told us.
Which
know that former Ambassador Burns, who is now the CIA director, wrote a classified memo saying "niet" means "niet."
He was CIA director under Joe Biden, just to be clear.
He knew NATO expansion would force Russia to intervene. So when you understand see, and I keep going back to this because I think it's very, very for people to very important for people to understand. You've got to understand there's a history here. And this is not me defending Russia. This is not me defending Putin. This is not me being anti-American. But folks, facts matter. Facts matter. So Donald Trump is asking Vladimir Putin to stop a war that Joe Biden started. I can only assume whether it's Sergei Lavrov or whether it's Vladimir Putin or whether it's Medvedev, they're saying, "I didn't start this. You did. You have to stop it. I can't stop it." It's 1 + 1 = 2 all day, every day. No matter, you can say 5 all day long. The answer is 2. You started the fight. I'm kicking your ass. Stop fighting me. I will stop kicking your ass. It's look, man, you strike me as a guy that, like me, has been in a pool hall or 10 in his day.
Yes, play chess. Yep.
There's a sign on every wall. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. You can be on the corner on Broad Street in Richmond. You can be on Broadway in Sacramento, where I'm from, on the corner. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. You started the fight. You have to end it. All Vladimir Putin, and the funny thing is, that's one of the things that Putin has been saying for the last 2.5 years. If you just leave me alone, I'll go home. Mm-hmm. Well, now he's created a bigger home, and he says, and here's another thing, and that Rubio quote. See, I think all the Western news agencies, when they want to talk about Ukraine, they need to open every story with that quote. It's a proxy war. The U.S. and Ukraine and Russia. They need to start with that quote. Where there was a time in this when Putin kept saying, here are my demands. If you meet my demands, I will stop.
Mm-hmm.
He's now gotten to the point where he's saying, well, basically, this thing is over. So this is not a conversation. I don't think this is a conversation anymore about a peace deal. This is a conversation about the terms of surrender.
Yes.
And here's the question. If this is not a proxy war, why isn't Zelensky going to the meeting? Why won't Zelensky be in the room? He's allegedly the president of Ukraine. So he is the one, if this is not a proxy war, he is the one that should be negotiating the terms for his country. But they're not going to let him in the room. Oh, we'll call him. He's at the kiddies table, and we're going to call him when it's time for dessert. That's
Yeah. I mean,
that's
really
the reality.
Anywhere? I mean, like, he comes across as a particularly obnoxious character. And beyond that point, as you point out, this doesn't take place without the US. Europe doesn't carry this burden. Zelensky obviously will fall apart. The Russians want the US out of the war in the first place. So this fake negotiation that is taking place, and I call it fake because
no, because it's a listening session now.
Well, let me explain what I mean by fake. Donald Trump is pretending as if he's some third-party negotiator, as opposed to the major participant of the war. The idea that you've given hundreds of billions of dollars, weapons, supplying them to Europe and supplying them to Ukraine, intelligence and everything else, and pretending as if this is not my war. Dude, you're the president of the United States. It's not Joe Biden's war as an individual. It's the US's war, regardless of who the president
American
is.
foreign policy.
Yeah, and Donald Trump loves to say, I gave him javelins. I gave him javelins. I gave him javelins. We hit him first. We hit him first. Not my war. Not my war. It's absurd. And this goes to the whole thing about no credibility. They don't care. They know that Trump is full of it. They know he's full of it. I agree with you, though. It is a listening session. Agree.
I mean, that's what Donald Trump said. You know, it started with him. I'm meeting you in Anchorage. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Wah, wah, wah. And now, oh, it's a listening session. What are you going to listen to that you haven't already heard? Because this is another, and you know this as well as I do. Whether you listen to Lavrov, whether you listen to Medvedev, whether you listen to Putin, for the last 3 years, I'll just use 3 years, but it's been since 1990 or 1991.
Yes,
they've been saying the same thing for the last umpteen years. Nothing has changed. These guys are consistent. They're consistent. The things that Putin, I believe, is going to say tomorrow in Anchorage, he's going to give Trump the same piece of paper he gave Biden in Geneva. He's going to say, well, Joe didn't give you the paper I gave him. Well, here, I'll give you another copy. It's the same damn thing. What are you listening to? What are you listening for? That's going to be different than what has been said every day leading up to this moment, unless you haven't been listening.
Well, there are two modalities of thought for this for me.
Okay.
One, Trump is performing for the Europeans.
Mm-hmm.
Two, meaning he's performing. He's doing what he typically does. Well, I'm going to be tough. I gave javelins. I was friendly with Putin, but I was at him. There's that where you're you're insecure. You have this belief that people think you're working with the Russians, that you're a pushover, that you're weak, because in this situation you are weak. So you're puffing yourself up, right? There's that.
Mhm.
And the Europeans need to be seen. They need to be heard. It's like on Star Trek, what is it called? Discovery, which I don't consider to be Star Trek, where you get the chubby character and the binary character, and they call her he, and she's like, "Don't call me a he. I'm lighter." And it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's like, "Oh, I felt seen." It's those moments, right?
Mhm.
Where it's like the Europeans need to feel seen in this moment. So he's making them feel seen. And so they come on and say, "This was a great conversation with Donald Trump. We think he fully gets what we need. Here are our demands." And it's like, "Oh, you guys have demands. That's so adorable. Give them to my secretary. I'll deal with them when I get back," right?
Thank you.
And then you go to Putin and you say, "Hey, man, I really need to end this war. What do you need? Give me what you need to end this thing." So you can have both of those things take place at the same time. Donald Trump is dishonest to his core. That dishonesty can go either way. Or you can have Trump go to the meeting and an American president can accept what a Russian president gives him. Either of those things really could exist, considering the fix that Donald Trump is in. From my point of view, and let me get your take on this, it's not that the American project for primacy has gone anywhere. It's still there. They want to freeze this on some level where we can get back to this project a little bit later when Russia is in a weaker position. But they understand that if this keeps going, the level of humiliation that is going to take place when all of Donbass falls is going to be breathtaking. It's going to make Bakhmut and IDF just looks like, oh, you want a toy at the circus. So he knows that. The people around him knows that. And as an American president, the last thing you want to take place is if in 2 or 3 months that line collapses, where you have open step either to Kiev or some of the other locations that are in Ukraine, because this is the last battle line in Donbass. He very well may want to put a stop to this, or at the very least a stop to this specific conflict. I don't know, because it's Donald Trump and he's a flagrant liar.
When you say
like
he, you mean Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Putin would just prefer for him to walk.
I firmly believe that Donald Trump wants to end this. The problem is he can't accept the idea of having to surrender in order to achieve that goal.
Agreed.
And Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump, I believe, thought that he could bully, bluff, that he could create a scenario where he could frame this like Vietnam, where he could frame this like Afghanistan, where they have some semblance of reality where they can say, we didn't lose, we withdrew. And Putin is saying, no, I'm not going to allow you to save face at my expense. Your jokes aren't funny, especially when they're directed at me. So no, I'm not going to stand on this stage and be your puppet. I'm not sitting on your knee and having you say, look, we won. Yes, you did win. No, that's not going to happen. Putin is saying the time for that is over. I had an agreement with Zelensky in April of, when did this thing start?
2014. Oh, you mean Istanbul agreements? 2022. Yeah.
Yeah. Not the Maidan stuff, but when Zelensky and Putin sat down and came to an agreement, I think that was April of 22. Mm-hmm. And the United States sent Boris Johnson in to tell Zelensky, no, the West will not accept a settlement. They had a settlement. They were already there. And the United States told Zelensky, we're not going to let you sign it. So Putin saying, been there, done that. We're not going back. We're only moving forward. If you want this to end, you have to end it. by you got to stop messing with me. And, you know, as I say, fire up the USS Missouri and resurrect Emperor Hirohito, because you all are going to surrender. That's what Putin, sail that rascal into the Black Sea with Hirohito in his top hat and his little tuxedo on, looking like Tennessee tuxedo. You have that. To me, that's where this is. It's like your dad. I gave you your chance. I told you, boy, don't have me get up out of this chair. And when Dad got up, it was lights out.
Do you think an American president can accept that?
No.
And again, we're talking, and to be clear, we're talking about a habitual liar that is
two things.
Amoral to the truth.
Two things. One, no, an American president in this day and age cannot accept that. America cannot accept defeat.
Did in Afghanistan.
And two, no, because we didn't surrender. And you know it, and I know it. It is lipstick on a pig. We know it.
Yeah.
But they're sitting there talking about, ain't she cute? Look at that nice dress she got on. Yeah, but it's a pig. But here's the other side of it now. Zelensky can't do it because those Nazi Ukrainian nationalists, Victoria Nuland does not have a box of cookies big enough now to save Zelensky's life. So they're stuck on both sides of the proxy. Both sides of the proxy are stuck in their own misunderstanding of reality. You lost. You've lost. It's over. And that's that, you know. So Trump and Putin are sitting at the table, and Trump leans over and says, "Okay, Vlad, this is what I need you to do." And Putin looks at him and says, "Man, I've already won this thing. What are you talking about? This is what you're going to do, Donald, or I'm going to continue whooping that ass."
See, Ushakov said something, and I don't know if it was reported correctly out of RT. He made the point of saying the U.S. offered something. RT made it seem like they offered a settlement. Like basically, hey, this is what we'll give, and there's room for us to talk in the context of the thing that you give. But it also could have been, especially after listening to what he said, okay, they offered parameters for negotiation. Now, part of me thinks, would Putin really go to negotiation that's open-ended? It feels weird to me. Like meaning, hey, let's just come and talk. Okay, why am I talking to you? What are we talking about? What you're just going to ask me, for this nonsense again?
For my phone number? What?
Yeah, right. So that's what I mean, right? Like, so it seems like there would have been some context.
But see,
before they show up.
Who was it that it might have been Sloboda. If it wasn't, I was talking to somebody, and I can't remember who it was, that made a very good point. Putin will always talk. Putin will always, huh?
He talk on the phone.
Well, now you're right. I can't get into his head to that level, and not only why is he meeting with Trump, but why is he meeting with Trump in Alaska when the ICC has an arrest warrant out for him?
Yes.
And Donald Trump could pull out a pistol and say, "Get them, boys."
All hell breaks loose.
Oh no, I realize that.
Bets are off.
I realize that, but that is a possibility that he's walking into a trap. that is, look, they just put a $50 million bounty on the head of Nicolas Maduro. So that's a possibility that has to be part of the calculus. So why is he doing that? I don't know. But I can't now. I wish I could remember who it was that said, always understand that Putin is a rational person who, at this level of the game, will always talk and always listen. That's why he met with Witkoff. Because, I now I don't remember who it was I was talking to, but the question was, it was Lawrence Wilkerson. It was Colonel Wilkerson. That's who I was talking to. And I asked him, I says, well, doesn't it seem odd to you that and these are the words I used, that the diplomatic protocol of peer-to-peer meeting has been violated? Witkoff is talking directly to Putin, whereas in most instances, Witkoff would be talking to Lavrov. He said Putin doesn't believe in those, doesn't follow those artificial diplomatic regulations. He's going to talk to whoever he has to talk to get the answer that he needs to get. He's not going to create these artificial barriers when he's actually trying to solve a problem. It was Larry Wilkerson.
Yeah.
And so that's, to me, part of the answer as to why Putin is coming.
I know, but that doesn't stop.
That's what he's about, that life.
I know, but that doesn't stop. You can have that conversation on the phone. Like, this is because it's fraught with problems. As you pointed out, you're coming into the United States. The United States can't be trusted.
I don't know the answer to that part of the question. I don't know. Other than
it would make sense if it was contextually made in advance. Like, for example,
because of the optics. Try this as an answer. Because of the optics. If Putin has the conversation on the phone, then Trump will just spin it like he's been continuing to spin it. But if he meets with him face to face, I'll be very surprised if after this meeting, you don't see Vladimir Putin standing at a microphone or sitting in a room taking questions, or that there's going to be some kind of readout from the meeting that will be almost irrefutable.
To an American press.
Well, to a world press.
Yeah, you and I I'm far more cynical about the U.S. than I think you are on this one.
Okay.
Like, I agree with you. It's a world press, but Donald Trump.
What I meant was, yes, the American press will be there, but the world press will be there as well. I didn't mean that the American press is the world press.
Would RT be there? Would Sputnik be there?
I don't know. Well, I don't know.
I would imagine they can't.
Will TASS be there? I don't know.
But see, I guess that's kind of my point, right? Like, so this just came out. Apparently, they are having a conversation. The summit between Putin and U.S. counterpart Donald Trump on Friday will focus not only on Ukraine conflict, but on broader security agenda, involve several top Russian officials. And they go into, right here, speaking to reporters on Thursday, Ushakov said that final preparations were underway for the meeting on Friday, which will take place in the joint base, et cetera, Anchorage, Alaska. It says, given the short notice of the summit, everything being done is in intense mode, technical, et cetera, et cetera. Where is it? They're talking about missile treaties also.
Okay.
And Putin apparently just recently, and I'll show the thing, made the point, I think this just came out, that right here, it says Vladimir Putin has admitted new agreement with the United States on strategic weapons. The president said that Russia is ready for new agreements with the United States on strategic offensive weapons, but only on condition a long-term peace conditions are created in Ukraine.
Mhm.
It says he said that in a meeting with the country's top leadership, representatives of the cabinet and administration dedicated to preparing for a meeting with Trump in Alaska. According to Putin, the American side is, quote, making energetic and sincere efforts, unquote, to stop hostilities and work out agreements that will be beneficial to both parties in the
Mhm.
conflict. Now, again, that could be political speak,
Mhm.
but considering the situation that Trump is in, maybe, maybe not. That's what I mean. I don't know which way I entirely lean on this
Well,
one.
see, to me, the fact that he stated the condition,
Mhm.
we've agreed to all these other things on the condition that we reach. He has been consistent for the last umpteen years.
Yes.
We can go anywhere you want to go. I'll ride with you anywhere you want to take me, but the first thing you got to do is take me by the house so I can go to the bathroom. I don't. That's that's the. I'll ride with you till the wheels fall off, but the first thing you got to do is take me by the house so I can go to the bathroom.
I
That's
think no, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's like we got to solve this war first before we do anything else. But I agree
before
with you,
we
though. I
do
think this first one is
anything
a
else.
deal out session. I don't think they walk out with a deal. Who knows?
No,
Maybe, maybe
it's
not.
a
But
listening. It's a listening session.
yeah,
See, now, I honestly believe that once Donald Trump talked about severe consequences if you don't, that's when Putin should have said, that's when Putin could have said,
I'm done.
oh man, look, you playing that game again, I ain't coming. But
Yeah,
I believe that we know this about Putin, we know this about Xi Jinping, we know this about Khomeini. They play the long game. They always play the long game. Trump
I think
thinks
like
he can
you.
play long game with short money, and that ain't gonna work.
I think like you on this. The moment that you said some nonsense like that, this is off.
But
You came
then,
begging me.
but then Trump spins it. So Putin says, "Oh, man, I ain't worried about that. Say what you want to say. I'm not worried about that. I'm winning. I'm winning." And Trump is the only one to my knowledge that has ever bankrupted a casino. Dude doesn't know how to negotiate. Dude doesn't know how. He bankrupted a casino. The man is a fool. And I think he's getting played.
Well, I would say we can close it, but my rationale with the reason he was coming to Alaska is just confidence. We're winning on
He's
the
winning.
battlefield. You contacted me, meaning you came begging to me. I don't care what your lies are. You came begging to me.
Right.
You made me an offer, not the other way around. We were
Right.
content to just keep going. We didn't respond to you with your threats. We didn't even answer you. Like we didn't even acknowledge your 50-day nonsense or 10-day nonsense. We didn't even acknowledge it. We just kept going, and as you point out, kicking ass. You came to us.
A new front just opened up. They didn't a day or two ago. Didn't Russia just have a major breakthrough?
Yes.
I think so he said, man, I'm out here thumping. I'm going hard in the paint.
As Bill puts it, what, 3 new cauldrons are forming right here?
And you're standing
This is the
out there
breakthrough
shooting
line.
threes and can't draw iron. I'm out here thumping. I'm out here dunking on you, and you're chucking up threes and can't even hit the rim. And you want to talk about winning the game? No. So I'll come to Alaska. Okay. Now what?
Last question, yes or no? With all that being said, you still don't believe that a U.S. president, meaning either way you look at it, regardless of these meetings, this gets solved on the battlefield. A U.S. president has no capacity, even one as mendacious and as lying as Trump, could walk out completely surrendered and claim that he got the moon. You don't think that can happen?
No. No, he'll get shot.
I don't think he'll get shot over that.
He'll get shot.
I think the majority of America will back him on this, frankly.
But it's not if it was the majority of America whose interests were controlling here, this would have been over a long time ago. It's not about it's about Northrop Grumman. It's about the military industrial complex. It's about the empire. The empire cannot surrender, especially in this perilous time when the empire is collapsing. No, the elite cannot can't they. I don't see how an American president on something like this that has been created and framed and spun to such a degree can just now turn around and surrender. I don't think he survives the day.
Then that American president is going to fail every bit as much as
He already
Joe Biden
has.
failed in Afghanistan.
He already has. It's already over.
Yeah.
He just hasn't admitted, but it's over. You lost. And again, this is about what scenario can I create to make it appear so I can save face in surrender.
Yes.
And Putin is saying, homie, you ain't got no option. You're not going to save face at my expense. Those days have passed. I tried to give you that in April of 22, and you turned me down. Now you got to take the whipping.
Dr. Wilmer Leon.
That's how I see it.
Dr. Wilmer Leon. We'll end it on that. He's radio host, political scientist, nationally syndicated columnist, and host of Connecting the Dots. Definitely check him out. You have another show. Please give us the name of that other show and when it airs.
Inside the Issues with Wilmer Leon, Sirius XM 126, Saturdays from 11 to 2 Eastern. Tom Porter will join me. Tony Montero is going to join me. Dr. Tony Montero is going to join me on Saturday. And I'm still working on one more guest.
Badass, man. You have a good one, okay? Thank you for this.
Appreciate
Always
it.
appreciate these conversations. Be safe.
All right, you too.